Hey guys, Promocast here. Welcome to the channel. As you can see, this isn't my usual studio situation. If the quality is a little bit under the weather, there's a good reason. I'm actually not even in my city at the moment. I'm at a work conference for my day gig, and yeah, it's like 11:30 at night, and I'm alone in the hotel room and I'm bored. So I built a random ad hoc studio so I could throw out a reaction video. I figure I've got some time. One of the many things I don't have is time. And so let's jump in. So as far as this collaboration, Inpatient with Ren and Chris Webby, I've only seen down the road, which I haven't edited and uploaded yet. And as a result of that, I don't have any insight into what that's about because normally, as a lot of you will know, I garner information about the artists I react to mostly through the comment sections. I try to avoid being too heavily involved in communities and stuff, and I kind of rely on, the comment sections of my videos to really tie things together. The reason I do that is because I feel like if I dive too much into a community, as much as I'd love to, there's a good chance I'm going to spoil things. And I like my reactions to be really pure and honest. And, obviously, first time I'm seeing things, I don't like to have much insight going in so I can get the full force of what it might be like for somebody who's never seen it before or knows much about it. Now, obviously, I've reacted to Ren a bunch of times. Ren and Chris Webby down the road, which was a beautiful exploration into like just really traditional, honest to God blues. And so that was really impressive. So I'm really curious to see if this is more of that same aesthetic, or if this is something completely different. And this album, when it releases, or EP or whatever it's going to be, is just this crazy, intangible like journey into a whole bunch of different styles, because we know Ren's capable of doing a lot. He does blues and soul really, really well. But our boy's capable of anything. So let's jump right in. I've talked enough. Inpatient, Ren and Chris Webby, Caskets. Already the name's kind of ominous. Oh man, okay.
If I don't wake tomorrow morning, empty shoes on the side of the hall, and if my number stops calling, picture frames hanging up by the door, you try to reach right in and hold on to the little things, but they slip away. But it's okay, 'cause I had a hell of a time.
Ooh.
Know that I had the time of my life. So remember me and smile. All of the souls heading back home down a one-way road. So it goes until the caskets close. And if you get that sinking feeling, thinking about the time we shared, I hope it helps you with your healing. Knowing that I wasn't scared, I savored everything. I pressed the world up against my skin. I was lucky, I guess. I always found the beauty in the mess. You gotta hold.
All right, I got to stop somewhere. Obviously, I'll jump back in. With reaction videos, we have to jump around, just for the algorithm's sake and for the sake of copyright strikes and stuff. I mean, I know Ren's really good with this stuff, but I like to do things above and beyond, or above board, and that means following the rules. We have to augment the video to a certain degree. So anyway, with all that aside, the thing that was happening then in my head was this panic about whether or not I would have the appropriate language to express how I feel and what I'm hearing in this, because this sort of music, which is, I guess, kind of like Americana, like sort of, there's a tinge of Beatles in there as well. When the horns came in, there's just so much going on in my head, but it's just this classic sort of born on the road in like classic America, like sort of vibe to it. Just it almost sounds like something that might be on the "I'd Rather We're Out There" soundtrack when he starts strumming at the beginning. But let me jump back to the start, because I want to try and see if I can piece together my thoughts. Like this is just like, what is the word? Like ragtime almost, but like on guitar. Like I can imagine a traveling musician in the 30s going to a club or like a hall, music hall, and strumming this out. And the beauty of what Ren's capable of doing is he sings it like it's the 1,000th time he's sung the song. And there's an honesty in his voice, and there's a way that he's able to navigate. This performance feels like it's fresh and coming from his soul, as opposed to a rehearsed performance or something where you've sort of taken the time to sort of figure out the nuance of every line. It feels organic and real. And, that's not something that comes in a book, or, you can't teach it. It's one of those intangible things that comes from experience. It's from logging thousands of hours on a street corner like Ren has. It's working with talented musicians, with understanding that it's not about how good the performance is. It's about how you navigate expressing yourself via that performance. And I mean, you can hear it. Like, listen to even just.
If I don't wake tomorrow morning, empty shoes on the side of the hall, and if my number stops calling, picture frames hanging up by the door, you try to reach right in and hold on to the little things, but they slip away.
Just like that. Hold on to the little things. It's just, there's a swagger to it. There's a swing to it. It just feels real. And I guarantee if I had Ren sitting right next to me right now and I said, I was trying to express that concept of, this sounds like you've performed this 1,000 times. I can hear the point where it's gone beyond you learning the song and it's you expressing yourself earnestly through your soul. He'd be like, oh, I just sang it, but that's the beauty of it. It always feels like that with him. And it drives me crazy, because as much as I've played in a few bands, and I've been lately just rehearsing a lot of stuff with a band just for, cover songs and stuff, more for the joy of doing it. And the few times where I actually sing, I'm learning that really it's not about singing the notes. It's not about the words and getting the lyrics right, or, trying to coordinate playing the guitar and singing at the same time. It's about closing your eyes and hearing what's coming out of your mouth and vibing with it, and just making it part of the performance. It's just being confident, I guess. I guess that's the secret. And Ren has that in spades.
But it's okay.
Oh, also, just that, like I said, so many things swirling around in my mind. The whole thing with him, it's a happy, jaunty, beautiful song with a tinge of melancholy. And then you've got this, like, the lyric is like, if I don't wake up tomorrow, it's cool. I had a good run, it's so beautiful. And we're barely, I mean, have I even reached the chorus yet?
'Cause I had a hell of a time.
And then what's more
No,
melancholy than a trumpet part,
I had the time of my life. So remember me and smile. All of the souls heading back home down a one-way road. So it goes until the caskets close. And if you get that sinking feeling, thinking about the time we shared, I hope it helps you with your healing. Knowing that I wasn't scared, I savored everything. I pressed the world up against my skin. I was lucky, I guess. I always found the beauty in the mess. You gotta hold on to the little things, but you gotta let go just a little bit. When another one goes, one will find their wings, then they'll find their way home, little take and give. Into the unknown and the changing tides, the sun sets low on an endless sky. So much we don't know, I don't know why, but I'll be fine, 'cause I had a hell of a time. No,
maybe part of the reason it seems so authentic is, if anybody else sang this song, there's a high chance and a high likelihood that it would just be words. But as we all know with Ren, he's sort of spent a lot of his, almost his entire adult life dealing with staring down the barrel of illness. And to be able to walk away from that, knowing that he did everything he could to get the most out. What was it? To press the world up against my skin. You know, like I put myself out there and I did everything I could. And so don't cry for me, because all the hardships and everything in the way that it's culminating in this end for me, it was all worth it. Stop it. This is why I do this, man.
I don't know why, but I'll be fine. 'Cause I had a hell of a time. Know that I had the time of my life. So remember me and smile. All of the souls heading back home down a one-way road. So it goes until the caskets close. Raise a toast as the curtains close and the sunset fades to black. So the story goes, we all walk with ghosts, no one-way tickets back. The casualties of our memories that slip right through the cracks. All the inside jokes and the times we spoke will stay frozen in the past. You gotta hold on to the little things, but you gotta let go just a little bit. I guess we'll never know what tomorrow brings, but just know you're not alone in the thick of it. I know it feels cold when the caskets close. Stories untold on a headstone. For those who grow old, it'll fly by in the blink of an eye. So we'll have a hell of a time. Know that we'll have the time of our lives. So remember us and smile. All of the souls heading back home down a one-way road. So it goes.
The hardest part about doing reaction videos is you get one shot at it. And a lot of times I'll find that I'll go back and I'll rewatch, you know, in my own time, I'll rewatch the material and I'll think of 50 things that I could have said. You know, there's things I leave on the table. And part of that is I'm doing everything I can to focus on the meaning behind the lyrics, which is particularly important in this one. You know, making anything that pops out in the music that I may be able to comment on. But then there's also this music video, and I'm trying to capture all of this and try to come up with something intelligent to say to tie it all together. But it's a lot, right? And so I feel like I'm shortchanging this one by not being able to be aware of every idiosyncratic moment of this piece of art. But what I'm gleaning from the video, every time I glance up from the subtitles, is it's showing the story of humanity. It's the human existence, the human condition, the suffering, the pain of being a human being. We all get old. We all lose a parent. We all sometimes have to put our lives on hold to take care of somebody else. But you know, that's all the sorrow and the hardship and, you know, but also the joy coming home with the baby and everything, that the trauma that is going through life, when you weigh it against the experience that you're gifted, I guess it's worth it. You know, I think that's the whole point of this. Let's keep going.
So remember us and smile. All of the souls heading back home down a one-way road. So it goes until the caskets close. We'll have a hell of a time. Know that we'll have the time of our lives. So remember us and smile. All of the souls heading back home down a one-way road. So it goes until the caskets close.
The thing that was really jumping out to me through that experience was, this is when you put this against the sum total of the rest of Ren's catalog with things like Hi Ren. Oh my God, there's just so many aggressive songs, the money game songs, the songs about, you know, that are like angry protest songs about humanity and about greed. And there's just so many pieces of his work that are, you know, challenging the the, I guess, the experience of being human, and like how we, we need to be more, singular in our faith in each other and our love for each other and our ability to look out for each other. Um, and then, but a lot of times there's an aggression in the music, and it's challenging and it pushes the boundaries, and the imagery, of the pig masks and there's a lot of energy put towards the dark side of who we are and how we interact. But then, and there's a lot of complexity in the writing and the pentameter of the rapping and um, the aggression, as I mentioned earlier, things like that. And then you've got something like this, which couldn't be more simple. And I don't mean that it's what he's done here is simple. What I'm saying is it's there's nothing when you're listening to this. There's nothing that pops out as unexpected, which is kind of how you define an instant classic. Like all of Ren's material that I've ever witnessed, he's batting 1,000, but there's certain songs that exist in the catalog of humanity that are just classic, and they're usually the kind of song that is emotionally connective. It'll be something that's easy to sing along to, something that has a memorable hook. We've had a hell of a time. Da, 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 da. You've probably heard this song a million times in other forms, but there's a bravery in doing something that's a classic sounding song, because as a musician or a recording artist or whatever, you constantly are doing battle with your ego to try and push against impressing people, right? I've got to play faster than everyone else, or I've got to have a heavier guitar sound, or I've got to do something to give myself an edge over the competition or whatever. And that's the battle that a lot of particularly up and coming artists have to face. It's like, how do I find my voice? What do I do that's different? But then when you're like, let's just write a classic song that ticks all the boxes of being a beautiful instant classic, a timeless piece. It's more challenging than I think a lot of people realize, because anybody can sit down and play some cowboy chords. C, G. There's like almost every song ever written you can play with 4 chords, right? But to do something that's pure and earnest and timeless with no real bells and whistles. I mean, it's surprising choices for Ren, but when you put it against some of the classic songs of, the Beatles or the Rolling Stones, or, I mean, they're the acts that are springing to mind right now, or even like classic soul and classic blues, there's an aesthetic to it that doesn't have a lot of surprises, at least to modern ears, and there's a bravery and an honesty and an absolute artistic beauty in that choice. Man, what a piece, just what a really cool song. And, I feel like this is the kind of thing I'm going to have to listen to another 10 times before I really grasp it. And I'm sure all of you watching this have done that already. And you're probably screaming at me right now about the metaphors that I missed, or like the nuance in certain turns of phrases in the lyrics, or little catch things in the visuals that I'm not picking up because I'm not part of the, as much as I love Ren and I love reacting to his music, I'm on his Discord, but I don't look at it and things. It's it's confusing, but that was amazing. I'm glad I did this. It took me a hot minute to figure out how to set all this up on my MacBook, and I'm using my iPhone to film it, but I'm not even sure it's working right now. Yeah, it's still working. Yeah. But boy, oh boy, thanks for coming on this journey. This is cool. I had a good time. Thanks again, guys. Primal Chaos here. Stay primal. I'll catch you on the next one.